Hello everyone, it's Don and I'm back. So I hope you enjoyed the premiere. I always enjoy putting them together. I'm getting a little faster at my editing. That one only took me 2.5 days to edit instead of the normal 5. So any questions about the video and the information I put out on it? How you doing, Mark? Good to hear from you again. Oh, wow, nobody's talking. We got 27 people on right now. But so the pups are getting huge. They're all in the 10, 11 pound range right now, and they're 6.5 weeks old. Another week and a half and they'll be ready to go home. So if somebody's looking for a golden retriever puppy, please feel free to drop me a line. I have still several of them available. Nope. All right, so let me pull up an email here I got. Yeah, they have grown quickly. It's absolutely amazing. They are so playful right now. When they get out of the pen, which happens several times a day, they terrorize everybody's feet. That's all I'll say. Thanks, Unschool. I try and cover quite a bit. You know, there's a lot going on here. There's stuff that I didn't cover that I'll try and cover in the next one. You know, there's so much going on. All right, I knew this was coming up, Mike, so I'll go ahead and answer it. Mike says, Don, did you get a chance to see how much land got cleared on the south side of 470 across from Lake Denham? Thanks, Tony. So yes, I went down there yesterday. I looked at it. I did some research. So right now, there are 2 permits that have been pulled with the Water Management District so far for that area. One is for the wastewater treatment facility that is just south of there, and to do some additional expansion work. The other, pardon me, is for phase 3 of the widening of County Route 470 in Lake County. Now, which one is that they're working on? I don't know. My guess, though, is it's going to be the 470 work, simply because that area is just right up there next to the entrance to that. And there's supposed to be a road going there into the residential properties. Or commercial. I'm not sure if they're going to do commercial or residential, or should I say, I'm not sure they're going to do any residential there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be commercial. So I'm expecting that to be 470, the staging area for the work there, for the work on this side of the turnpike. On the other side, they have plenty of land that they can use to stage. All right. So I got an email here from Leanne. She says, hi, Don. Love your construction update videos and watch them religiously as we are hoping to build a home in Wellpoint very soon. I noticed a good-sized parking lot with a couple of potential buildings in progress in Wellpoint right next to the Live Oak, Pitch and Putt, and Laurel Oak executive courses. Is this going to be a family rec center? I don't see an outline for a pool. Keep up the good work. We very much appreciate all the invaluable knowledge you share each week. And as golden owners ourselves, we really love the puppy cam of your new litter. Well, thank you, Leanne and Mark. Yeah, I love my pups. So what that is that's the Saint-Tropez Recreation Center that Leanne is asking about. It's going to be a village recreation center, just like Saluki. So I would expect it to have a pool also. It's just very early in construction. All right, we got a bunch of questions coming in here. Let's see. Not a cue, but a comment. I drove up to look at the houses at a house last week and stopped by the new Richmond area. One thing I don't think your high drone videos convey is how visible the trailer park is. Yeah, you're right. There is going to be visibility from the trailer park. How much, though, I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Chris says, I caught the last 5 minutes of video. I'll watch it later on. I forgot to check at 3 p.m. All right. Hot Job KT says, Don, are there any areas in Eastport that you have seen that will have staffed gatehouses? You know, at this point, I can't. It's too hard to say if they're going to be staffed or not. My expectation is that the one at Lakeview, because it does back up to a very busy county road, 501, that it will have it. The entrance right now going into Shady Brook is manned. I don't know about the rest of them at this point. Let's see. Wow, messages are starting to scroll. Chris Vander Lip says, hope you flew over our home site in the last video. I don't know where it's at. Okay. Gregor says, they should have put up a higher wall, and you may want to try getting some human POV videos there. I think half the veranda area is going to have to, I'll have to look at the trailer park next door. I will take a low flight over there this coming week. I won't drive back there because it's still a construction area. I don't want to be trespassing, but I can see it. I can fly nice and low, and we can get a pretty good view, a pretty good idea of what the view looks like. Diz Villager says, did TV build the most recent bridge? I'm assuming you're talking about the Bexley Bridge or the Southern Oaks Bridge. Yes, they did. They built it. They got permission from the state. They built it for the county because it's part of the county road agreement. The county doesn't have to pay for it for 15 years. The village is sitting on the invoices for 15 years. If you know much about finances, there's a dollar cost for money. And if you think about what that bridge is going to cost the county 15 years from now, there's no interest. There's no any kind of penalty or anything like that. They have 15 years to pay for it. So what cost $15 million today will cost, let's say, $30 million in 15 years. It's a pretty good deal that they got. Let's see. Unschool says, a real estate guy posted a video saying the enclave is kind of a bust, having a hard time unloading interior lots, and the dust and construction is probably a nightmare for the residents. I don't think it's a bust. They've sold a tremendous amount of homes there. Many of the inside lots are now also being built. It's a difficult area to sell. A lot of it is, in my opinion, because of the distance. As far as construction, the dust, I've been over my house, my investment property over in Moultrie Creek several times in the last 2 weeks. And, there's lots of dust there. It's normal, okay? If you live in Dabney, Newell, Lake Denham, St. Catharines, whatever, and you moved in during the early stages, you put up with dust, and then one day it disappears as they move on. It's just the nature of things, and then you'll never remember it again. He says he speculates the villages isn't really trying. Thoughts? The villages isn't trying. I don't think that's in their vocabulary. These folks that are building the villages, they have their act together. They know their market. They know what they're doing. I don't think that's going to be the last set of premier homes. It was an interesting piece of land that they had, and they tried to make good use of it. For me, it's a bit far, I say that, and I just bought a house down in Moultrie Creek, all the way looking at the new high school, which is a bit far from where I'm at now. We went down there in the golf cart 2 weeks ago. We live right now near Eisenhower. It was a 45-minute golf cart ride going through, Sawgrass Grove area and down. So it was a hike, but it's no worse than going up to Spanish Springs. Let's see. Let's see. And where's the TV sign on it? Okay, I got to go back to your other comment. Oh, okay. Now I get it. So Diz Villager wants to know, where's the village's sign on the bridge that they put up? I've wondered that too, because, they're very big about advertising, and they did a great job on the Chitty Chatty Bridge, the Brownwood Bridge, and the other Turnpike Bridge. My guess is because there's not the caging for the golf carts on both sides. They didn't put it on it at all. Oh, you know what, Sherry? You're right. It does say 6'2". Yes, this is a live show. Good catch. I didn't even catch that. That's what happens when you fat finger the keyboard, I guess. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So J. Elizabeth says, is there going to be a gas station by us in Moultrie Creek? Yes, there is a gas station planned over by Citizens First Bank. And there's also one for golf carts going into the golf cart store at Eastport. Those are two that I know of so far. I don't like Gilbo. He is a New Yorker that needs to come to TV. Sorry, just the facts. Sam, I don't know who you're talking about. All right. So Jerry says, Don, excellent video. What are the villages located across from the Coleman prison, which parallel Marsh Bend Road? So the ones nearest that are part of Middleton. And I believe that's also where the apartment complex is supposed to be going. They're supposed to do, I think, 200 apartments down there. But the prison is really a non-issue. Okay. All right. So let's see. Mike O says, Don, maybe suggest to Sumter County, Lake County, and the state to start making 48 4-6 lanes from Okahumpka through Center Hill all the way to Bushnell. With 470 gone, plus all the growth. So I can tell you that they are looking at 48 and expanding it. And, unfortunately, until the traffic exists, it's very difficult to justify spending the money. You can say, well, we think it's going to be here. But when you're talking, typical, according to the impact survey that was done for impact fees, it's $3.8 million per lane mile. So you're talking a lot of money to widen the road at $3.8 million per lane mile. Now, the great thing is in the county road agreement with the villages, that's only costing $2.8 million a mile because the villages is picking up part of the cost for engineering and things like that. But yeah, it's in the works. So Joe Ging says, the real estate guy was probably an MLS agent since he can't sell in there, so being left out, he needs to be a little negative. Yeah, probably wouldn't help. Probably wouldn't hurt. Let's see. Chris, what lot number? I was down last week, not sure which one. Met buyer on number 14. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks, Diz Villager. Like and subscribe for the vote. And vote with the thumbs up. Wow. Holy mackerel, we got 136 people on already. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So, any more questions? If not, I'll see what I can come up here in my email. Let's see. Lot 31, we tried for 14. Oops. So, just curious, which section are you guys talking about over with lot 14 and 31? All right. So Butch wants to know, they have started clearing the area across from the entrance to Lake Dunham. Yeah, we already talked about that. Any information on what they are going to build there, and will they make it golf cart accessible? So golf cart accessibility is always an interesting issue. I know that the Villages has a county road agreement with Lake County for widening 470, basically from the, I think it's Chandler? Yeah, Chandler Road, all the way down at the far end of Dabney, all the way into the Sumter County line. And so they're supposed to widen it to 4 lanes. If they're widening it, if they're building it, that gives them a lot of latitude in putting in a multimodal tunnel. I would say the probability of that is 99.99999%. Those back up to Shallow Creek Golf Course, South 9. South 9. Okay, I know where you guys are talking about now. You're talking about the, sorry, Chris and Sam are talking about some areas that where the houses just listed. What you call it? I'm assuming they're talking about the designer homes, because there is a set of veranda homes that are bordering on the South 9 that look pretty great. They got some really great views, but they haven't started listing them yet. But yeah, golf cart accessible, definitely. Let's see. Got all kinds of questions here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So John and Jane said the charter school campus is amazing. How was it financed? How was it financed? That's a good question. The developer paid every dime of it and wants nothing for it. For them, it's an investment in their employees. It is an incentive for their employees, because when they started it, oh gosh, I think it's 23 years ago, the school system wasn't really great around here. And they knew that in order to attract good employees, they would have to have some encouragement for a good school. So, Gary Morse and Gary Lester and a few others got together, put their heads together, and they came up with the charter school system. The charter school is funded by a 501c3 for all its operating and maintenance costs. The developer built it themselves. And, I've been there, I've met some of these kids. Their parents are involved in their education, something that's missing in a lot of communities here in the United States. And because of that involvement, it really changes the whole attitude of the school. And that's by design. And, they're very fortunate. Some people say, oh, they're a bunch of rich kids. They're not. They're regular employees. The kids of regular employees. I know some folks that work on the district staff. I know firefighters that that took jobs here so their kids could go to this school. And it's an amazing place. They've done a great job. Yes, Chris, you're talking about designer lots. Yeah, yep. Fifth time. Wow. Well, maybe the fifth time. So the fifth time was a charm. Yeah, it's it can be difficult when you want to really prime lot because everybody else wants it. Gregor says, if the charter school is a 501c3, the construction was probably a huge write-off. I don't know if the construction was under the 501c3. I know that their operating expenses are, though, the maintenance and things like that are covered under the 501c3. Hey, you know what? If it is a tax write-off, it's a tax write-off. They're doing a lot of good. That's money the government's not going to get to waste, because we've all seen government waste at its finest, and we don't. This was a much better use of the money. Let's see. Mark Ryan says, my irrigation time is Monday and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Can I water earlier in the morning on those days? Seems strange watering during the hottest part of the day. Wow, I would double check that, because that's unusual. Normally, watering times are at night, starting at about 8 o'clock, and they go until about 6 o'clock, and it's in the schedule. So I would double check that time for Monday and Wednesday. And Monday, Wednesday? Really? Normally it would be like Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. They try and break it up even. That Monday, Wednesday at 4 p.m., that just sounds completely wrong, Mark. You need to check on that one. All right. So Catherine Herford says, what is happening south side of 470 across from Megison? A large amount of trees has been cleared in the past few days. So yes, we talked about this already, but I'll say it again. It's probably the staging area for the widening of County Road 470. Andrew says, hiya Don, found you on YouTube last spring and subscribed, watch, thumbs up every one is there, excellent. Do you offer a patron numbers group, or do you just have the thanks hearted to send money? So I don't have a members group yet. Some of you may have seen last week, I republished one of my earlier videos. It was in 4K without commercials. And that's part of some research I'm doing, just trying to see what kind of viewership I could possibly get for doing the videos like that. There are trade-offs. One of those is timing. Part of what I was thinking of doing was releasing them a day or two earlier, which means, of course, I got to get them done a day or two earlier, which is challenging, trying to keep up. I have a pretty busy schedule, between running my business and all the other things. Wow, thank you, Sam. I appreciate the donation. That helps, really does help pay the bills. That last video, I went through about a tank and a half of gas, driving around, going from one end of the villages to the other, trying to explore and figure out what's going on. But anyway, I'm thinking about doing a members only area with some exclusive footage and early releases, doing them in 4K. What you just saw was in 1080p. But again, the logistics of it add to a very busy schedule. Let's see. Sam says, thanks, Don. I come down once a month. You fill in for me on the other weeks. Oh, okay. So Sam, you say you come down once a month. Where are you coming down from? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is a great comment. This just came in on YouTube from the broadcast. Victoria, thank you again so much. I appreciate it. She wants to know, do you know what new villages will be offered in 2 to 3 years? Will it be in the South? Yes, it'll be in the South in 2 or 3 years. I don't know. That is, I mean, it's hard enough to figure out what they're going to do in 2 or 3 months. It just really is. They move so fast. Yeah. Whew. So Sam, you're in Houston. Nice area. I used to live in San Antonio. I went to high school there, and I love Texas. It was great, but I kind of like Florida too. Let's see. Angel Eyes 222 says, Don, any word on Water's Edge opening for designer homes? Thank you. No, nothing yet. They've shifted. They're still working in Shady Brook, and right now they're working on the west end of Shady Brook, and they just started on east of Marsh Bend Trail at Shady Brook, and it's quite a large area. But they've also shifted some of their focus up to Well Point. They've got 2 sections of homes under construction there, some cottage villas and some patio villas. Until I don't think they're going to start in Water's Edge for several months, just because they're working now up at Well Point as well as in Shady Brook. Let's see. Greg R. says, any idea of plans for the empty properties north and south of Megason? South of Megason, north and south of Warm Springs. There's signs for a church a bit north of Warm Springs, but an empty golf cart accessible properties. So those are supposed to be commercial properties, and that's what they're slated for. When are they going to start? I don't know. I think they're focusing right now on trying to fill up Middleton, which, from what I've seen in the newspaper, they've got quite a bit going on. But they also are trying to put properties in Eastport. So not a huge demand right now for that area. I know that there is a rehab hospital going in just south of Warm Springs on Megason, near the cell tower that's there. It's supposed to be phase 1 is 50 beds, if I recall properly, and 30 beds in phase 2. Let's see. Sam says, my father retired in the Villages in 95. I will be there next year. One thing I figured out, you can never retire too early. Life is too short. I've known people that, say, oh, I'll work till I'm 65 or 70. And then, they make it to retirement and they, a month later they pass away. It can be challenging. If you, in my opinion, if you are in a position that you can afford to retire early, then by all means do it and enjoy life. There's so much to do here. There's so much to do in life. Of course, money is always an important issue, but it shouldn't be your driving issue. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. Patrick wants to know, will there be 4 lanes on Marsh Bend Trail heading north from Central Parkway? No, it won't. It's just not. The county was considering it, but after looking at what was going in there wasn't justification for the expected volume of traffic. So it stops being 4 lanes at McNeil Drive or McNeil Road, whatever it is, McNeil, where they just completed the new roundabout, and it goes back to 4 lanes at the fire station. Let's see. Okay, Don, how about the tunnel closures under Morse between St. Catherine and Hawkins? Don't know anything about it yet. Unfortunately, I am out of that loop these days. Like when I was back on the district board and part of the project-wide advisory committee, I had a great insight into that, but not anymore. Anyway, I don't know what they're going to do, what's going on. Thank you, Richard Brooks. I appreciate it. I'll get to your question in just a second. Catherine says, laugh out loud. Through following the conversation, cause I'm just mesmerized by the kids playing, jumping over each other, some snoozing. Oh, okay. You're talking about the puppies. Yeah, I know. I'm catching it out of the corner of my eye too. So Jenny wants to know, is there any update on potential bridge over 470? I can tell you that, again, the Villages has a road agreement with Lake County to widen it to 4 lanes, 470, from Chandler all the way up to the county line in Sumter County. They're going to have to put another bridge in. Of course, the speculation is golf cart bridge also. That's my thought, but we'll see. Unfortunately, with the governor's order 3 weeks ago, I don't get quite the same insights that I used to when I was a county commissioner, but hopefully we will remedy that in about 8 weeks. Let's see. Hot Job KT says, Don, what's your feel if a Cody's restaurant will end up in Eastport? I don't know. I don't know what's coming in Eastport. That's been very, very tight-lipped. There's a lot more information about Middleton than Eastport. The things I know about in Eastport are a grocery store, it appears to be. There's a golf cart store, there's the Villages Health Facility, and a bank. And it would be a Citizens First Bank. Oh, Mom is sitting there looking over the edge. So, hopefully my wife will see them. They're trying to get to Mom. Anyway, sorry. Victoria says, retire early. I agree. Patty says, hello, Don. I so agree with you about retiring early. One could always find a way to make some money, but you can't buy back time. You're absolutely right. J. Elizabeth says, question, is there going to be a new fitness gym by Landstone Boulevard in Middleton? That is my understanding. I don't know what brand it will be, but I know the location based on a map that I saw, and it's directly behind my house that I just bought down there as an investment property. And that's what I'll be looking onto. But I've got a great water view also, so I'm not really too worried about it. It should be a very low traffic one. Let's see. Sam says, my best guess, next will be verandas on Goldberg Lane, then Amati Path, but my guess, 614, the Stacy Carter Avenue, and in 3 weeks, Amelia Path, just guessing, Hillsborough for me. Okay. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they're crazy. Hot Job says, amen on retiring early. I'll be 50 in 18 months and planning to build this year. Life is short, going to enjoy every bit of it. Richard, I owe you an apology. I said I was going to get back to you, and I just scrolled right past it. So Richard says, love your show. Thanks for all the hours you put in work, plus the working full-time job. Raising those pets. Yeah, the pups are awesome. They are absolutely incredible. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Sam says retire early. All right. Carla says, we've been waiting a couple of months for a lot to open up so we could build a home with a 3-car garage and a pool. Are they not making lots big enough for this anymore? We are getting very frustrated. They're still making good-sized lots like that. You've got to understand, though, that's a very wide lot. There's going to be limited locations where it can go. And some of them are wide enough for 4-car garages. We've seen a lot of that on this side of the turnpike. But just keep plugging. That's all I can tell you. All right. Cheryl P. says, looking at the bottom of the screen, what is the difference between a committee person and a county commissioner? Good question. So county commissioner is one. There are 5 county commissioners in Sumter County, and we set the policies. I got to correct that. They set the policies, and they make laws and govern how the budgets are spent. The committee person, in this case, Jerry Prince and Edna, are running for committee man and committee woman. And what they do is they represent Sumter County for the Republican Party of Florida. The RPOF has a bunch of rules. It has a committee that for all that happens within the Republican Party, and they are the representation that for the Republican Party. I know that Jerry and Edna have been doing it for a while. I think they do a good job. They asked if they could advertise. I said absolutely yes. Anyway, that's the best I can tell you at this point. Let's see. Hot Job says, same here, Carla. What model are you looking to build? We are building a Kingbird if we find a lot. Okay. So, Mark Ryan, good question. What area would you cover in District 5? So, just so you understand, Sharon, you got me smiling here. So District 5 represents the area from between 466A and 44, from the Lake County line over to Powell Road, as well as Continental Country Club, and the area that makes up most of CDD 7 right behind the Colony shopping area. However, all county commissioners are elected at large. There was an initiative called Sumter 1 many years ago that made all the county commissioners elected at large. And that benefits everybody in the county. There are some that want to reverse it, and reversing Sumter 1 only helps 5 people. And that's the 5 people that get elected, because then they don't have to work as hard. For me, I have to work and try and win votes and earn. Let me rephrase that. Let me earn the vote of the residents throughout Sumter County, not just District 5. If it was District 5, it would be easy. But because everybody votes for me, or hopefully will vote for me, then I've got to earn their vote. I got to, hopefully earn their respect. But that's what it is. Otherwise, if I only had to get the votes for my district, I'll tell you what would happen. We would have only the best interest of the villages being looked after, because of the population of the villages and in the districts, everyone would be a village's resident, probably, who's a county commissioner. And right now, Andy Bardello, he's a part-time village's resident. He has a house in Wildwood, and Jeff Bogue, who is another one of the county commissioners, very knowledgeable individual, especially when it comes to fire and EMS. He's a real asset for the county. He lives down in the south end of the county. He represents District 4, but much of District 4 is the villages also. DIY Crasher says, what kind of drone do you use? Thanks for the videos you make. I enjoy watching them. So in this last video, most of it was shot with a DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine. So that's for those that aren't sure what all that means. It's the third generation of the Mavic, which is a foldable drone, but it has 3 cameras on it, and it has, because it's the Cine model, it's capable of Hollywood-grade video footage in 4K and better. And the difference is, when I don't have it in Hollywood-grade mode or Sony, what's called Sony ProRes, Apple ProRes, it's about 1 gigabyte of data generated per minute. In Apple ProRes mode, it's 16 gigabytes of data generated for each minute of video footage. And that takes a heck of a monster machine to edit. But the stuff you can get is amazing. The other drone I used for some of the footage was a a DJI Mini 4 Pro. The last segment over in Shady Brook, that was shot with the Mini 3 Pro, and I think what else did I shoot with that? I don't remember what else I shot with it. I shot 2 scenes, but it's just, both of them are great drones. One is really small. In fact, I can show you right here. I got it here at my feet. This is the bag for the drone. It's about the size of 2 bags of flour. And this is the drone. It weighs about a half a pound. Absolutely phenomenal technology. I'll fold it out and hold it up to my hand so you can get an idea how big it is. So that's my hand. That's how big the drone is. And it shoots phenomenal video footage. The Mavic 3 is a little bit bigger, a little heavier, but does phenomenal stuff also. Let's see. Hope that helps. Okay. Mark says, any updates when the new Golf Academy and driving range will open in Eastport? I'm going to say next spring, just because I don't think they're going to open it until most of the other stuff starts to open. And honestly, there's still a lot of growing in that's got to go in at the Golf Academy and at the, the driving range. Sorry, I'm trying to put this thing on so I don't break it. I'll just set it off to the side for right now. Let's see. Wow. Let me turn on the microphone for the puppies. They are just having a grand time. You should be able to hear that when they start making all kinds of noise. Let's see. Carla, we had hoped to build a large home with a 3-car garage. Out of the last roughly 40 view lots released in Shady Brook, only 4 lots support a 3-car garage home. Only one of those could fit a pool. Yeah. Carla says, Maiko, really don't want to be that far out there. I thought, well, I'd hope that's not going to be our only option. I don't think so. There's going to be other options. So Patty asks, do you need a license to fly a drone? So there is no license. There is what's called a remote pilot certificate if you want to fly commercially. If you are flying recreationally, you just need to take what's called the trust exam. It is, I think it's a 15-question exam now. You go on the FAA's website, or you can go to pilotinstitute.com and take it there. And basically, they show you some information, then they ask you a question. If you get it right, they move on to the next topic. If you get it wrong, they take you back to the information, show it to you again, and ask you the same question again. And if you get it right, you move on. If you get it wrong, it goes backwards. So, you can't fail it. And it's just to get you familiar with the different regulations. If you're going to fly for commercial purposes, which would include any kind of posting on Facebook or YouTube, because those are monetized. Even though you as the individual may not make money, YouTube is making money for it, and Facebook is making money because of the content you post. Therefore, you must be a Part 107 commercial, have your commercial drone certificate. Let's see. Don, when you do your custom home videos, is it possible to list somewhere what the model is, or maybe you do, and I'm overlooking it? I haven't posted the models. That's something I could do. I don't have a problem with doing that. I don't believe most of the homeowners would have a problem with it either. So yeah, we can start doing that. Richard Brooks says, Don, do you teach a drone class? Actually, I teach 3 different drone classes at the Enrichment Academy. I got one coming up next week. No, not this week coming up, but the week after. And there's another one. I don't know. I got to look at the schedule. You can find it on the Enrichment Academy website. But I teach a drone basics class, which you don't need a drone for. But I go over all the stuff you need to know to understand what the laws are, what the rules are, what you can do with the drone, what you can't do with the drone, and things like that. And help you make a good drone buying decision, because there's a lot of junk out there. But the other classes are more advanced, teaching you the software and autonomous flight and things like that. Jay Elizabeth says, when will they open the recreation center in Eastport? Will they open the recreation center in Eastport before the retail section? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're going to try and open up a lot of both retail, because they want restaurants there when they start the live entertainment. That's a huge part of it. So they're going to want some restaurants there, the rec center open. We're still about a year away from it opening. So, I think it'll all happen at once. Yes, puppy WrestleMania. They are just going bonkers out there. This is pretty normal. Let's see. Mark says, we own a house in another state as well as in the villages. How do we vote in Florida? We are not full-time Florida residents. Are you a Florida resident? Okay, if you're a registered voter in the state of Florida, then you can vote. If you're retaining your residency in another state, then you cannot vote. But you have to establish residency. That's the big thing. I have a lot of friends who are Florida residents, but don't live here full time, because they go back up north for whatever reason I haven't figured out yet, and want to live up there for the summer months. Personally, I like the summers here in Florida. I think they're great. Even though they can be a little warm, I can think of lots of ways to keep cool. All right. Unschool says, have you considered creating shorter, more specific videos? Things like going on up north, Water's Edge, Eastport, developments in the north. I did consider making some shorter videos. Part of it is, it takes so much time to shoot all the videos. I normally spend 2 days, if you will, in the air, shooting video and getting from place to place. And then the editing is the other part. There's just so much that has to happen with the editing. Yeah, shortening it would make it easier, but it becomes non-stop then when you start doing short ones. To me, it's more efficient to edit a 30-minute video than it is a 10-minute video, just based on my experience for the last 5 years doing it. Patty says, thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. Oh, Jenny, woo, you hit a sore one, this one. I saw an article stating 623% increase in CDD5 for Seco pole rental. What does this mean, and will this be an issue in other districts as well? It will be an issue everywhere in the villages. This pole rental stuff, it's a bunch of crap, okay? That's all there is to it. I don't know how they think that this is justified. They said they upgraded to LED lighting to save money. So why does the pole rental go up? You paid for the lights, didn't change the pole. It's going to affect every CDD because they all get power from Seco. Maybe not 4 and maybe not 11. I don't know on those, but all of them in Sumter County most definitely. It's going to affect the CDDs. It's going to affect the project-wide agreement. It's going to affect the amenities. All the prices are going up, or all the budgets are going to be affected, and it's going to hurt. I mean, 600%. That's a lot of money. They try and play it off because it was like $1 a day. Now it's like $6 a day. Oh, it's only $5. Yeah, times every light pole, times 365 days a year. It's a lot of money. And honestly, the CDDs do not, they keep a small amount of reserves, but they don't have, they're not flush with cash. They cover their expenses and they maintain their reserves, and they pay as they go. So there's no magic pot of money that's going to come from. If this goes through, we're going to all see increases in our annual maintenance assessment. They have to. It's the only way we got to pay it. I know people saying, well, I'm on a fixed income. We're all on a fixed income, okay? But, uh-oh, now they're starting to tear up the blanket. Great. Sorry, I can see the pups out of the corner of my eye on the other screen. Chaos ensues. So yeah, this is a big deal. It's gonna, depending on how it affects the amenities, there is no avenue for, excuse me, just a second. Sorry about that. Had to have my wife go and wrangle the puppies because they are getting crazy. Anyway, in the amenities, there is a CPI adjustment, but this CPI adjustment isn't going to take into account this Seco increase. So if this Seco increase goes through, that's a bigger number in the amenities budget that has to be paid for. Something else is going to have to be given up because there's no way to increase what we pay just because of the way the amenity agreement is written. It protects us all. Let's see. Victoria says, what appliances come with the new construction homes? So if you do a design build, a custom home, I believe you can get all the appliances, including washer and dryer. In the home I just purchased, it was the kitchen appliances. That's all that came with it. I didn't get a washer and dryer. Let's see. Jim O says, "Hi, hey Don, I did my lifestyle last week and I was very impressed with the place. I'm planning to move there soon." Well, good. "I saw you eating lunch with friends and didn't want to bother you to say hello." Oh, so hello. Wow. Where was I eating? I don't have friends. No, I actually have quite a few friends. Just curious as to where you saw me, Jim. I don't remember. Anyway, let's see. So we're at 16:33, so we're coming up on an hour. So let's kind of wind this down. John wants to know, "Hi Don, just wanted to know your prediction was spot on. It appears that all the plant life in the lake has been removed that was removed when Lake Okahumpka was built has returned. It's a mess." Yeah, it is. They had a boom up. They dredged it. They pumped it in this big black bladder thing. I think I'm going to find that video footage from when I shot that 2 years ago, and I'll show everybody what I was talking about. But they dredged it. They pumped it out at Scooples. Okay. Scooples. Oh, okay. I remember that one now. Anyway, they dredged it. They pumped it out, and it looked great. They took down the boom, and within like 2 months, things started creeping in. So they put the boom up. They did some more cleanup on it, and I guess they finally realized it was a lost cause. And it is truly a mess there. It really is. And I mean, right now, the developer is responsible for that maintenance of that. It's their expense to deal with. They'll pay it out of the amenity fees that they collect south of 44. Whether they make money or lose money, that's up to them. My concern is down the road, let's say 10 years from now or 15 years from now, when the developer is working in CDD 21 and 22, who knows what number they'll be up to then. They will do like they did in 2016, and they will sell the amenities to one of the commercial districts, probably the Eastport Community Development District, because the commercial districts generally float the bond for purchasing them. And, when they do that, unfortunately, the residents don't have a good say on, hey, you got to fix this first, because they don't get that say because the residents aren't buying it. The commercial district is buying it. But that's going to be a big issue. Same thing with the parking over there at the Finney Pitch and Putt. What a mess. I feel sorry for the folks that live on the south side of Finney Way, right across from it. They have they've got a mess with the parking. Joe says, Don, since SECO is a utility, who is their watchdog? Is there a public utility commission who must approve the increases? I don't have the answer to that. I've been talking with the gentleman who took my place on the CDD 10 board, John Miller. He's a friend of mine. He's CDD 10 supervisor and chairman. And we've been talking about it for a while, and it's crazy. I don't see how we're going to be able to afford this. I'm sorry. We can hear the puppies just fine without their microphone on. Oh, okay. I just turned the microphone off for the puppies. Jenny wants to know, is there anything we can do to stop the poll increase? It's funny. Normally something like this, there would be a public hearing. And the board from SECO or other utilities would normally speak to the public. They're not doing that. The CDD boards, many of them asked for somebody from SECO to come to their meeting and explain. None of them showed up. So now they've agreed to meet with the supervisors, but it's by invitation only. So it's not open to the general public. I just have, there's so many problems with this. So it's just fundamentally wrong that they can try and pull this off. All right. Yeah. So Jerry says cheaper to rent than own with all these impact fees. So these are not impact fees. Sumter County only has one impact fee. It's a road impact fee. And all it can be used for is capacity increases on the roads. But these are not impact fees. These are just fees that, in this case, the utility is levying. All right. So it is 20 minutes of 5. I can smell the spaghetti cooking, or the sauce at least. So, Greg R. says, isn't SECO a cooperative? Aren't all the electricity customers owners? On a positive note, SECO does not have some of the best residential rates in Central Florida. It does have some of the best central rates in Florida, yeah. Good rates are fine, but when they start jacking up the prices, it still hurts. But yes, SECO is a cooperative, and, you know, I don't know. I'm starting to do some looking into this because it's got me upset. You know, I don't know what else to tell y'all. I'm definitely going to be looking into it. Anyway, folks, we are at just past an hour. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll do this again next week at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I hope to see you all then. In the interim, send me your questions via email, YouTube comments, text message, whatever you want to do. And I'll try and answer them. Of course, obviously, we'll do them as they show up on the screen also. So with that, I'm going to take and flip back over to the puppy cam for a couple of minutes, and we're going to call it a day. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great time. Enjoy life. It's much too short. We just need to embrace it and go for the gusto. And bye.